I wrote something down where you said, and I'm paraphrasing, but it would be thrilling to have a song on the radio. So obviously, the music business isn't the easiest one. So for you, what keeps you going? Is it this creative moment that keeps you going? Because and then the rest is kind of necessary, but you don't per se prefer to do it.
Well, to answer, I said that it would be thrilling to have a song on the radio because I'm someone who, when I was young, I listened to the radio all the time, and I remember hearing new songs and thinking, like, wow, that's an amazing idea. I never would have thought of saying it that way or playing the chord that way. There's something that's, I don't know, just discovery. Sure. It's funny, though, because I think that radio is maybe not as important now as
Sure.
you could just have a song on the internet and and that's still a thrilling thing. Mm-hmm. I think let me really think about it. I think the thing that I am trying to do that I think is actually impossible, I'm trying to make something that I really like, something that really moves me, and at the same time, something that could also possibly be a huge commercial success that would allow me to make money to make more to make more things. And I think that is the ideal thing for any artist, is to make something that's not commercial but becomes commercial. Just a miracle commercial thing.
So when you start writing, and let's take each other, do you have this in your mind that you think, okay, maybe if I do this?
Yes. I would be lying if I said that, because I don't. The thing is, if I really wanted to make something that is new and unique and all this stuff, I feel like I could make something that's just unlistenable noise, and I would still find something that's really intriguing to me about that. But I know that less people would like it, and this is just part of my personality. Yeah. And I love noise music, and I love aggressive, like metal and hardcore, and I like jazz, and I like Bach, and there's so much music that I really like. The music that I choose to make, I think, is not so avant-garde, or so I know that there is a part of it that could be commercial. It could be on the radio. It could be all these things, and so there's always a part of the process when I'm creating a thing. I'm thinking how to make this good. Sure. If that makes sense. Sure. But I think about it from a perspective of, like, I think about, like, Fleetwood Mac and Motown and really, really incredible recordings. Mm-hmm. And I think these were made first and foremost as artistic expressions from these artists that they really, really believed in, and I want to believe that that's the way it was. I want to believe that they made these things. Maybe someone was in there saying, the chorus is too long, you got to get to the chorus faster, you have to do, sure. It's got to be there in 40 seconds or whatever. There probably was some amount of that, but behind all of that was sort of like soul and rock and roll and like all this stuff that are all concepts that are interesting to me. So I try and put myself in that mindset.
And then, well, you mentioned you want to make a good song. Like, good obviously is quite subjective. Yeah. So what for you makes a good song? Is there maybe a track on the record where you found the right balance between what you just mentioned?
Well, this is the other thing, is when someone says it would be so great to have a song on the radio, there's a format, I think, of a song that would sound good on the radio, and most of the music that I make is actually not even in that format. So, like, the songs that I like on this record and on almost every other record that I hear are usually, sometimes they're the singles, but sometimes they're the songs that I feel they just hit me in a certain way, and they just touch me in a way. So, I think of let me think of an example. I think of the example of Nirvana's Nevermind. Mm-hmm. I love Smells Like Teen Spirit as much as the next person, but I also like Something's in the Way, which is really acoustic and is really weird, and there's just something that's really raw and bizarre about it, and I think it really speaks to Kurt Cobain's character, and maybe it's not the best Nirvana song of all time, but there's just something about it that I like. And I think about it in the same way as something like a song like Black Dream or like What Light Never Goes Dim, which are songs that are slow and long and whatever. Sure. And those are the songs that I like. I just try and fill an album full of songs that I like, and if it works, then it works, and if it doesn't, then it doesn't. That's where I'm at right now. Okay. Yeah.
But do you then, before you start working on a song, do you have something in mind of what it should be, or with the album, did you have an idea of what the album should be?
Yeah. This was a little bit of a different process than normal. Normally, I'm in a lot of different roles as someone who's writing and recording, like playing on the recording, and I've always been sort of a producer, co-producer, and this time we were working with a producer in a studio with an engineer there, and I was just really focusing on trying to write good songs and play them really well. And also a lot of these songs were collaborations, so I wanted to go in with who I was, but combine it with who the rest of the guys in the band. So, Dave playing the drums and Julia playing the keyboards and the horns, and Olivier also playing keyboards and horns, and Colin playing bass and keyboards. And the thing that we were trying to do is to make a perfect combination of all of this. And yeah.
Well, the way you made the record, the approach, was this, because I can see it both ways, was it liberating or was it difficult to kind of relinquish some of that control?
It's both, yeah. I can look back on this recording and really feel proud of how everyone came with their ideas, but I can also look on it and say, like, well, I still came up with a lot of ideas, and then question about, should I have done more, should I have done less, should I have done this? But that kind of becomes irrelevant in the end, because we made this thing, and we mixed it and mastered it and released it, and now it's a document. It's a thing that happened, and when the next one happens, then that'll just be a thing that happens.
well, that's funny, because what you mentioned earlier with kind of not listening back to music and being in the now, so to say. So is your mind now already with new music?
I don't have any music yet, but I've started to think about what is the next thing. Is there a next thing? That is the scariest part. The scary part is finishing something, and you've put everything into it. You've really spent all of your energy making it the best thing that you can, and then at the end, you're like, oh, I'm done. And there's a moment right after you say that you're done, and you're like, maybe I don't think I have any songs. Well, not right now. I certainly don't have any songs right now. And then you think, will I ever make something that's better or more different from what I've done, or will I just keep doing the same thing? And so I'm currently right now trying to understand what else I could do next, and I don't know what that is. So I don't have anything planned.
But can I assume that it's definitely in music? It's not like you think, well, maybe I'll never make music again?
I don't know. Yeah, I don't want to be too definitive about anything. Maybe I'll, go and start making paintings. I don't know.
Well, final question then. This is one I always like to ask. So how do you define success? When will the album eat each other? When will it be success for you? Maybe it already is.
Yeah, I don't know if you could tell. I'm just I struggle to define many different things.
Mm.
What are ideas? What is it to be creative? Sure. What is music? Success has changed a lot for me.
Okay.
Success looks different to me at 30 than when I was 16, and
sure.
It certainly looks different than when I was 8 years old and bought an album and thought, this would be the coolest job in the world. I think when you go and do something, whether you are making movies, whether you are painting pictures, writing comic books, opening a business, you have your aspirations going in, and you realize things not only about your aspirations, but you begin to realize things about yourself. Sure. And I think those realizations are becoming more about how I can have a successful community more than an individual success now. That's where I'm at right now. Maybe it changes. Maybe I become very self-centered again. I'm sure starting out it was very self-centered, like I'm gonna make it, I'm gonna do it. And now it's more about, I'm very proud of not only the music that I make, but I think there's a lot of other music that comes out by my friends and people who live like close to me, and I think providing more of a space, a community, a platform for them that's more where I'm at now, because it feels harder to have individual success. So it's sort of, you know what I mean? It's both. It's kind of a cop-out because I don't know if I'll ever be like an arena rock band, but maybe me, all my friends, all the people, all the music that I really love, we can all just like make a living. That's success. It's being able to survive.
I think that's a good ending. Thank you very much for your time.
Yeah. Thank you.